let's look at some example code for if-else conditions. So here we have two variables. A is 20 and B is 110. Both of them are integers. So now again we have an if-else block, and based on what we are checking in the if-else block, we would print something out into our output. So at first we'll check if A is equal to B. A is 20, B is 110, so they're not equal to each other. But if they are equal, then in that case, we want the program to print out A is equal to B. And that is why we use our print statement and just put the text A is equal to B in there. If A is greater than B, that comes in the else if block. Else if A is greater than B, we print out A is greater than B. And if none of these two are true, that would mean that A is less than B. So we don't necessarily need to explicitly say that here. We just say else, print out that A is less than B. Well, if A is not equal to B, if it is not greater than B, it must be less than B. And this is how you can write the if-else condition for A and B being compared to each other. Depending on how A and B compare to each other, you might want to do other things, but just for simplicity and for conceptual understanding, we're doing something extremely simple, which is printing something out, and that's it. So let's run this program and see what the result turns out to be. As you can see, A is less than B. Of course, A is 20 and B is 110, so A is actually less than B. What if we make A to be 220? What would happen in that case? Let's run the program again and see. You see, now the program outputs that A is greater than B, because at first the program entered here, it saw that A is not equal to B, so this is false. It did not enter this part of the code. It then went here and saw that A is actually greater than B, so this part became true. Because this part is true, the code entered this part of the code, executed this statement, and then exited the whole if-else block. Let's try something else. Let's say A is 220 and B is also 220, and see whether or not this gets printed out. As you can see, it does. A is equal to B. Again, what happened is it came here first, saw that this part is true, entered this part of the code, executed this statement, and just exited the whole if-else block. Because only one part of the if-else block will be executed based on the condition that we put within the if-else, within the parentheses by if and else if and else. So I hope you understand what if-else blocks are used for using this simple example.